Hi, my name is Luke Nathan Hayes. I live on Minjarrabah, North Stradbroke Island, to many. Um, I'm here to talk about artificial intelligence and the pillar two of AUKUS and reframe it kind of as it's a bet on military deterrence rather than a bet on world peace. So I'd like to contrast the amount of spending that's going into this over 20 years or whatever, 25, 30 years, when in COVID we spent about $300 billion on the economic stimulus. In the 2008 crisis, it was like 90 or $100 billion. So Australia can pull money out of thin air when it wants to. But those two examples were when there was no plan. I'm suggesting that we look at the Pillar 2 AUKUS and craft a protopian gambit, incrementally making every day better and betting on peace and joyful, responsible abundance, so that when the next financial crisis does hit, which is inevitable because it always goes through cycles, we have a civic version of the Pillar 2 AUKUS. Forget the submarines, they're a stupid idea. It's a waste of money. We have the ghost bats, we have the ghost sharks. All that money on those is not a deterrent. It's not going to make us safe. It's stupid. It's just creating jobs and making Australia a target for being nuclear. And it's not even using the right nuclear. We should be transitioning to thorium. Like, it's a proven technology. It was originally proven. The Yanks just didn't want to do it because it was harder to make weapons grade stuff out of it. We've got tons of thorium. We're building the world's largest, outside of China, rare earth element manufacturing plant in Western Australia to work through monazite to get the neodymium, to get the other rare earth elements, and thorium's in there. So we should not put all our eggs in one basket on uranium. We should be looking at thorium. I'm also putting a submission to the Senate committee that's investigating AI and data centers. Do not put all our eggs in one basket. There's a missing middle that needs to be addressed by the federal government, and that is single racks of the NVIDIA class, like GB200s, GB300s, the AMD equivalents, the ones that are going into these gigawatt data centers now by the thousand. We should be having one of those as an experimental community rack in every local government area, and eventually like an arbitrary number of 1 per 10,000 people. These racks are about 100 to 200 houses of electricity at full power, and instead of having thousands of them in gigawatt data centers, we should have a full, like, extended reality, just-in-time education system where a pilot program, let's say 5 or 10 in every state and territory, gets one of these racks straight away. They are then going to use simulations of where they're going in, take video, and create these training systems with the people who connect the power, who connect the water loops. So the heat, instead of the heat being a waste product in a data center where they need all this cooling and water, it's actually used as a product in the local community. So you have connected to the data center, you're at a school, you have a heated pool for the school, you're in a hospital, you have a hot water system for the hospital. The heat then becomes a product and it's not waste. So on top of that, we then get people thinking about just in time, like there's already glasses the size of mine or a bit bigger where you can have your computer information and delivered to you, talking to an AI. The next generation that is already in the attention economy is trained for that. So the younger generation that is disenfranchised at the moment with how we're doing things is purpose-built for the next age of going to space, for solving all these complicated problems that need us to work together, not as separate entities. So there's a real pattern here that if we bet on having these data centers in our community and allow them to experiment with them, that they will start solving the problems that the politicians can't fathom. And that's what a protopian gambit is. You can also go to Spotify and Suno, look for Icy Infinity and A Protopian Gambit. My music will be coming out soon, and it explains a lot of that. You can also check the federal inquiry into local government funding and fiscal sustainability. My submission is number 2 by Luke Nathan Hayes. That opens up a braided economy, which is asking for a specific regenerative asset carve out in cryptocurrency and commercial Corporations Act and taxation for a non-speculative token. So you can't buy it from someone, you can't sell it to someone, you can only earn it from 1 hour of civic contribution. So you braid that to the financial economy so we can measure and guide the volunteer economy, the reciprocity economy. I'll spit it out. And then because there's trillions of dollars of unmeasured, unvalued, unpaid care in Australia and the world that is just being totally eroded away by the market economy. And people are getting depressed, people are getting angry, people are killing themselves and hurting others and stealing at unprecedented rates because the market economy is not regenerating the social license and the well-being of the people. So by tying all these things together with AI responsibly, we start to then have a better functioning society. And I'm interested in Australia becoming a cyber republic by 2031 and building a purple party for Australia. So that's not actually a party yet, but it's got a website, p4a.xyz, and that goes through some of the systems design theory. And my business on Stradi is called Strange But True, Tech, Art and Ideas that'll help. So I demystify some of these strange new technologies and ideas, bring them into relative frequencies for everyone to understand in common language. And if you would like more information about that, I'm an open book. I travel the world, but I also come back to Stradi. Got lots of connections with India, and they're the next boom country. So we've already got agreements with them as Australia, the Quad, and you see when Modi comes over here, he's often treated like a rock star, but India graduates like 1.5 million engineers every year. Like, the scale of the intelligence, if they're using AI and we're friends with them, like what we can do and work together as, like, if Australia is a seed for Oceania and Asia, giving these racks and open source compute. So I take this for an example. I got a data set from Kaggle, which is a competition for coding. There's like 44,000 towns around the world that have roughly 9,000 people or more. If we put one of those GB200 NVIDIA racks in each of those at $6 million each for the rack, the connection, the power, the XR training, and the first staff, that comes to $246 billion or something, which is less than AUKUS, which is less than the COVID stimulus. And then that would have every country with a self-sovereign, data-protected, local AI that works for them to protect them from extraction at these data centers in space. Tesla's building terawatt gigafactory that is terawatt. That's 1,000 times what these gigawatt data centers are per year. And that'll be up and running in 3 years. The scale is not the problem. Intelligence is not the problem. It's connecting all the baskets and not having our eggs in one basket. And we should be betting on peace.